Hi friends, this is Pastor Kathy. This is part 3 of our 4-part series about being lost from Luke chapter 15. Do you remember our questions? What do you think Jesus might be saying with this story? Who is lost here, and who is God looking forward to celebrate? So this is a longer story. And usually this final story is told as one set, but I want to show you how many different things are going on in this story. So I'm going to tell you about the lost son today, and next time we're going to talk about the lost brother. So there was a man who had 2 sons, and the younger son was bored and tired of living under his dad's rules. And so he tells his dad that he'd rather have his inheritance now rather than wait for his dad to die. He essentially tells his dad that he'd rather have his dad's money than have his dad. It's a pretty mean thing to say. But the dad doesn't want to force the younger son to stay where he doesn't want to be, so he divides everything he owns between his 2 sons and gives the younger son his portion. And the younger son gets it all together, packs it all up, and leaves town. And then he parties. And I know that we've talked about parties with the other 2 stories, but this is not that kind of party. Those others were celebrations between friends. This is not a celebration. It's a squandering, a waste, a spending. The younger son loses himself as his money runs out of his hands like sand. And then he's broke. And the people who were with him when he spent all of his money are gone. And then there's a famine. Everyone is hungry, not only the younger son. And there are so few jobs around and even fewer opportunities. But he's hungry, and so he finds a job working at a farm, feeding slops to the pigs. And he is so hungry that he wishes that he could eat the pigs' food, but no one gives him anything to eat. And then, hungry, poor, with nothing, he realizes that even the people who worked for his father had food to eat. And even if he didn't love living with his family, he'd really like to have food to eat. Maybe, he thinks, his dad might hire him to work, even though he told his dad he didn't love him anymore. He knows he's not worthy to be called a son anymore. And so, resolved to go, apologize, ask for work out in the fields where he knows that at least he'll have a decent meal on a regular basis, he heads for what used to be home. But here's where we learn something about God. When the younger son crests the horizon of his father's home, the father sees him and runs to him. And as the younger son is in the middle of his apology that he practiced the whole way back, "Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son." The father calls out to the people around him and shouts, "Quick, we've got to celebrate. We're gonna have a party. Get him some shoes and some brand new clothes and even one of my favorite rings for his hand. My son, the one I thought was dead, is back. He was lost and now he's found. Let's have a party." God loves to celebrate with you. Let's have a party. Peace be with y'all. Goodbye.